Hey, I'm Nick, and today I want to talk about how I reckon while learning is important, like I've mentioned before, focusing on your grades and how the school thinks you're doing with your learning shouldn't be treated as such a big deal as it is currently. So what do I mean by that? Well, schools in general, the way they grade encourages more memorization and just the information from the paper to the test instead of encouraging critical understanding and thinking, which is much more important to figuring out if you actually understand what you're learning and could then implement that in a field. But it's also important to realize that the fact that your grades are dependent on tests a lot more of the time than they are on your progression as a whole leaves it vulnerable to be affected by stuff that may happen once or twice and leave a lasting impact just on your grades. Stuff like test anxiety is a pretty obvious example. Not only that, but the tests more emphasize everything in an academic context rather than a real world context. And what that means is that you're graded based on how well you know the information or understand it, but not really how you're able to use it properly. So that's a lot about the bad stuff. Now, how to actually fix that? Well, that is to not worry about your grades as much as what the school system as a whole wants you to think about them as what you could do instead is focus on getting a more well-rounded education in terms of your areas of interest, and more so not rely on school to teach you things, and instead practice these critical thinking and problem solving side of learning that the school won't teach you. And of course, as a byproduct of developing critical thinking and problem solving skills for your areas of interest, just having that habit of being able to learn things that way will help in future job markets with professions that may not even exist as of yet. Like I said, look for your areas of interest, like your passion and what you believe your purpose is, or rather, what are the things you need to know to be who you want to be. So of course, by working on what you actually want to learn, you will of course practice building the habit of having a deeper commitment to learning. So as a byproduct of learning the things you want to learn, you might also realize that you're learning practical skills that can lead into any internships or apprenticeships and give you hands-on learning to boost your learning. And this is the stuff that will give you those valuable insights and networking aspects of it as well. And to think that this probably wouldn't be possible if you're just focusing on your academic grades rather than actually developing important skills. So basically, with all that, I'm saying that rather defining success based off grades, define it based off your actual personal growth, and if you're making a positive impact in general with your goals or to society or a community as a whole. And with that may build your resilience, your adaptability, learning to learn, and that's more valuable than the grades alone. And not focusing on grades as much also helps you make smaller improvements, with the fact that you are more than likely able to run into small failures or more obstacles that may bring down your grades, but without the grades aspect, you are learning to overcome those obstacles instead of worrying about them all throughout life. So yeah, focus on having that well-rounded and passionate part of learning things, having those practical skills, and redefining your success over basing it off grades alone. So don't go passive to how that education system is teaching you. Try and challenge it every now and then. Get what's important out of it and not use grades as the be-all end-all. So yeah, that's about it. That's how I think about it usually. I'll bring up now, here's some more videos of the channel if you want to check them out. That's up to you. Either way, I'll see you later.